8 major health protocols of major cruise lines. Cruise companies are enticing cruisers to book the next trip. Cruise lines are waiting for CDC to lift the no-sail order. Once this order is lifted, it will be quite different than before. Through the Cruise Line International Association, the major cruise lines have agreed to mandatory core elements of health protocols. Here are the protocols once cruising starts again from USA. Number 1. Testing and health screening. All guests and crew are required to have a COVID-19 test before their cruise. Passengers must take the test 24 hours to 5 days before the cruise. A second test might be administered at the cruise terminal. If positive for the virus, they and their party will be denied boarding. People who had contact with anyone who has tested positive for the virus within 14 days prior to the cruise will also be denied to sail. At embarkation, there will be a health screening and questionnaire, as well as touchless temperature check. During the cruise, there will also be daily temperature check. There are no restrictions for individuals with health conditions or age, but before making your plans, consult your doctor if it's okay for you to travel. No medical note is required. Number 2. Face mask. Face masks will be mandatory on cruises from embarkation at the terminal and during your cruise in most indoor areas. Exception if you're in your own cabin and when eating or drinking at a restaurant or lounge. If physical distancing can be maintained, masks don't need to be worn, like when outdoors on an open deck or pool area, as there will be space between loungers. Number 3. Physical distancing. Cruise ships will sail with a reduced capacity as they restart, making social or physical distancing possible on cruise ships. Dining rooms and lounges will have more space between tables and chairs. In theaters, there will be space between passengers, and on pool decks, lounge chairs will be spaced out as well. Number 4. Ventilation and sanitation. Improvements are being made to the cruise ship's ventilation system. Advanced technologies and filters will be installed. Outside fresh air will be brought into the ship as much as possible. Cruise ships have been known to have very clean environments, yet there will be more improvement in many ways, like more hand washing stations and hand sanitizers will be placed around the cruise ship. New methods and technologies for sanitizing and disinfecting will be utilized. Number 5. Shore excursions. In the early stages, as cruises restart, cruise passengers will need to book cruise lines excursions or remain on the ship. Cruise passengers prefer to book their excursions on their own. Cruise lines know this, but to protect the safety bubble established on board the cruise ship, protecting the safety and health of passengers, and also protecting the destination's population is the cruise line's concern. Number 6. Itinerary planning. Safe passage. After the previous experience of cruisers when COVID-19 burst into existence, and to ensure passengers will not be stuck on board, cruise ships made plans with regards to itineraries and ports of call. They need to establish that the destination is safe and that the local government authorizes the visit. And they also have to establish an agreement and plan for safe passage home for guests and crews if in case there will be an outbreak or even a single case of the virus. Number 7. Medical facilities and personnel. Upgrades are being made to the medical facilities and care on board. Cruise ships will now be better equipped to deal with medical issues and potential cases of the virus. Ratio of medical staff to guests will be greater. There will be a doctor on board who can care for critically ill patients. The medical team will have medical relationships shoreboard. They can even use technology like virtual consultation. Number 8. Isolation areas. In case of suspected or confirmed cases, there will be cabins available for isolation and quarantine. So these are the 8 major health protocols in preparation for the restarting of cruise sailing starting in the United States. Watch my previous video about changes in traveling.